we're looking at a review. It says review for 6.3. That's back when we used a different book. Shh. So right now we're looking at our review for a quiz for tomorrow. Okay? So we will have this quiz tomorrow. So let's make sure we're going over this and we feel comfortable with each of these. Yes. So this is review, just because we're going to have to do this a bunch. So I gave you 4 kind of review problems. Hopefully they should be easy, like points.
On the quiz, can we have like more of these and these? No?
I mean, like, it looks exactly like this in the quiz. I just changed the numbers. So your quiz looks...
Is it more of these and these though?
Look at me. Your quiz looks just like this paper in front of you, except I changed the numbers. Okay. So, and that's what I try to do for every review so you guys feel prepared. Okay? Yeah. So easy to cheat then. Okay, so if we're looking at this, 1, 2, 3, and 4, which one would you like me to do?
1 and 3.
1 and 3? Okay. For number 1, all you're doing is distributing that 3. Okay? So we're going to end up with, is this too small? Do I need to zoom in? We're good? So we should get 3x to the third plus 6x. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got to get from enough to you.
Okay, so let's look at number 3. Now, 3, I'm going to break this up, okay? Because this is on top of both of these. So I can go 4x to the 5th over 8x squared minus 4x to the 5th over 4x. Okay?
We're going to get 4 right on the quiz.
All right. So now we're just going to reduce these. Like 4 over 8 ends up giving me a 2 on the bottom, right? If we have 2 x's on top and 5 x's, 2 x's on the bottom and 5 x's on top, we end up with just x to the third. Okay? And we're going to subtract that. This is not right. I don't like how I did this. Don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. Okay.
Jeez.
So, do you see how there's 2 x's and there's a third x right here? Okay. We're going to cancel those all out, and we're just going to end up with 2 x's on top. Okay? So there's no x's on the bottom. Now there's just x squared on top. This is 4 over 8 and minus a negative 4. So 4 divided by 8 ends up giving me, so we have 2 x's on top. This ends up giving me 2, and 4 divided by 4 gives me 1. So 2 minus 1 is just 2, so we just end up with x squared as our answer.
Not x to the 4 over 2x minus 1?
Mm-mm.
Since you messed up,
Okay, so if there are
wait a minute.
5 x's on top, right? And then this has 2 x's, and then this has 1 x. We end up with just 2.
Oh, I knew that.
No.
Okay. Let's look at, do you want to do 5a, the 5, 6, or 7?
Well,
2.
we got to do.
Nope, 2 and 4 you got to do on your own.
2B, 7B.
Well, 7b is the easier part. I got to do 7a first to do 7b.
Nothing on here. Oh, well, that might be easy.
Well, are we going to do 5, 6, or 7?
7.
7. Okay. Let's look at 7. 7 is multiplication. 7, we've got g is 2x squared minus 3 times h, which is 4x minus 1. Yes, I can. Okay? So, first you got to set it up right. Like, if we write out what it's actually saying, I think that's the first part of getting this correct. Okay? Our next part is we've got we've got a polynomial times polynomial. So that means we have to do FOIL, or we have to do the box method. Okay? Well, sorry guys, you're going to see it forever. So, okay, I like the box, but you guys can totally FOIL. We've got 2x squared minus 3. And we've got, yep, 4x minus 1. 4 times 2 gives me 8x to the third. 4x times negative 3 gives me negative 12x. Negative 1 times 2x gives me negative 2x squared. Negative 1 times negative 3 is a positive 3. So my answer ends up being 8x to the third minus 2x squared minus 12x plus 3. 3. Okay, now if I was to FOIL this instead, that's what I'm going to do above. I'm going to go first, 2x squared times 4x is 8x to the third. Outside, 2x squared times negative 1 is negative 2x squared. Inside, negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. Last, negative 3 times negative 1 is a positive 3. I'm getting the same answer, right? Okay.
Whoa! Whoa! All we gotta do is plug in the number.
Okay.
Oh, for the class!
Now, part B, all I'm doing is instead of an x, I'm plugging in 4. Okay? Instead of an x, I'm plugging in 4. I'm in the middle of recording. Okay. So, I'm going to go 8 times 4. People that just came in, they need to pick up this review right here. 4 to the third minus 2 times 4 squared minus 12 times 4 plus 3. Do you see what I'm doing? Wherever there's an x, I'm just sticking in 4. Okay, and then you can put that right in your calculator. 8 parentheses 4 cubed minus 2 times 4 squared.
I'm good now.
Good,
I feel comfortable.
good. Minus 12 times 4 plus 3.
I know. What were you with these numbers on the side of it?
I'm doing that right now. That's what I've been doing for the last few minutes. We get 435.
Wait, what do you want?
You just typed it on and we gave you that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could do it in parts. That's fine. Like, if you're worried, because when I first put this in my calculator, it got real funky because instead, like, somehow I did, like, 8 times 4 to the 3 minus 2. It started going up here, and I didn't want to do that. So if you want to do it in parts, you totally can. Just 4 to the third. So I would have, like, 8 times 64 minus 2 times 16 minus 12 times 4 plus 3. And then I could put that in my calculator. You know what I mean? Just to get rid of the exponents if you're worried about it. Okay. Next section.
Can we do number? Oh.
Should we do 8? Like, let's turn this over.
9.
You'd rather do 9?
Yes.
Okay. If we're looking at 9, we've got f times g to the negative 3. So we kind of did something like this the last time I saw you, which I know was all the way on Tuesday. So here's f of x, right? Here's g of x. Do you guys see both of those, where I'm getting them from? Now I'm going to go f of x, except instead of an x, I'm going to put parentheses. Okay? So I'm going to say 3 parentheses minus 1. So far, so good?
No. No.
Instead of an x, I just put parentheses. Okay. Now the next part says g. G is 2 times x, right? So I'm going to put the 2 times x in where the parentheses is, except instead of an x, I'm going to put parentheses. Yeah.
So every time you see the H, the parentheses.
And then instead of an x, it's saying I'm putting negative 3. Okay? 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Negative 18 minus 1 is negative 19.
Never mind, that was not bad.
I'll do one more of these.
Yeah. I don't know what you
We might need one on one.
Okay.
The parentheses got it.
All right, which one do you want me to do? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14?
13.
12? 12 and then possibly 13? Okay. So do we see h of x right here? Okay, I'm going to write that down, but instead of x, I'm going to put what? Parentheses. Okay, so negative parentheses plus 1. So far, so good? See how these are the same? See how these are the same?
Yes.
And I have a parentheses there. Okay, now f is this, 3x minus 1. So I'm going to write this down, except instead of x, I'm going to put what? Yes. 3 parentheses minus 1. And then inside that parentheses, I'm going to put what number? 9. Okay? So 3 times 9 is 27. 27 minus 1 is 26. 26 with a negative in front of it is negative 26. Plus 1 is negative 25.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to show you a different way of doing it? Is that too confusing? You just want one way? Because, I mean, you could. I'm just going to say this out loud. Here's f. I could take 9 and plug it into f. 3 times 9 is 27 minus 1 is 26. And then I take 26 and go negative 26 plus 1. Don't, okay.
Oh, say it again, say it again.
Okay. Instead of doing it this way, I could, here's a separate sheet of paper. This is what I could do. I could say, okay, f's right here. So I know that this is f is 3 of x. So I could go 3 times 9 minus 1. Okay, 3 times 9 minus 1 is 26. Okay, now I'm going to take 26 and I'm going to go to h, and I'm going to go negative 26 plus 1. That gave me negative 25. You could do that way too.
That looks easy.
That do look easier.
Do you want me to do another one where I just did it like that?
Yeah.
All right, let's do 13.
Man.
So we know that g of x, I'm just going to write it down right here. You do not have to, and h of x.
Got a 5.
Yep, there's a 5 in the inside. So see how the g of x is in the inside? What's 5 times 2?
10.
So I've got 10. Now I'm going to take 10 and I'm going to plug it in for h, for x for h of h. So I'm going to go negative 10 plus 1. That gives me negative 9.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
I'm plugging in that.
What the hell going on?
Now I can do it. I can go back and do it the other way, which is minus parentheses plus 1, and then 2 times parentheses, and we're going to put a 5.
The answer is negative
Or you do it both ways.
Negative 9 is the answer.
You do it both ways.
2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. Okay? All right, guys, you got the rest of the hour to work on this. I can walk around, answer questions, do whatever. If this is what you were stuck on, finish this. We've done 3 of them. There's only 3 more to go. You know what I'm saying? Okay.